From flightless birds to flying beetles, dino fossils to dugongs, it's home to some of the best biodiversity specimens in the world. And this year, the Chian Natural History Museum at NUS turns 5. Now, to commemorate its anniversary, the museum is kicking off a series of e-events from tomorrow. In a first for the museum, academics will speak virtually to an online audience. It's free to join, and if you're keen to attend, you can still register on the museum's website. I spoke to CEO Professor Peter Ng about the museum's journey and prospects, and we kick things off by discussing the growing interest in Singapore's natural heritage.
It's growing very fast. It's a large number of people. They are interested, right? I think as you engage people in a increasing manner, you'll find that most of them do want to know. And when you tell them the stories in a way that's not loaded with technical details, they begin to appreciate what these things are about. And it's a mix of nostalgia, mix of interest, mix of curiosity. And what actually is even probably more exciting is that you do see a large number of young people which actually are interested in these sort of things. They want to know more, and they want to be involved. So I think the messaging is correct. I think we are in the right direction. And I think as a country as a whole, as much as we appreciate historical things, cultural things, well, nature is becoming increasingly part of that same DNA.
Against the backdrop of this push towards the digital era, what role does that outreach play now towards shaping this next generation?
The nexus is that we are now digitally empowered. We have all the technologies in the world around us. We can see almost every strange plant and animal we want on the web. Not a problem. But the sort of awe and excitement you get when you have the actual specimen right in front of you, it's completely different. And this connect is something that we want to do. We want to use the digital media. We want to use technology to get people interested, to facilitate their learning journey. And we want to have the physical specimens, the actual things that are there to share with people. But beyond the specimens, beyond the information, it's also the sense that that the museum is active. We are always out there, doing Indiana Jones sort of things, chasing after all sorts of strange and curious things to explore and better know our planet. So we are part of this this regional challenge to better understand what are the life forms out there, not just in Singapore, but in the region and the world. We are actually a player in this bigger game to better understand our planet. And mixing digital with reality.
Prof Ng, since the museum opened, you've had a lot on your plate, from the involvement with the preservation of the Jubilee whale. You've had important acquisitions that you've made, the bicentennial book as well, which explored in more detail the history of this collection. Are we going to see more efforts to document those rich stories from the museum's vast trove?
One of the things we want to do is to have more virtual portals with partners, right? We are finalizing things with, for example, Google to actually have virtual portals on our biodiversity. We are going to start some of our own portals as well. As you know, the university right now is taking web learning. We are putting a lot more of our lectures and courses online. So some of the things we do in the museum will also go online. And a lot of these stories you talked about, these wonderful treasures that are in the collections, as we put them on record, as we put them in books, we will also automatically probably load most of them in the web as e-resources, electronic books, virtual books, so that more people can access them. As far as the treasure troves that are in the museum, we'll of course pull more of them out in the months and years ahead as we slowly, gradually try to change the gallery, refresh the gallery, putting new exhibitions on different aspects of the museum. So there will be a fair amount of interesting developments next year.
And that's all for Singapore tonight. We'll leave you now with more pictures from the Chian Natural History Museum. Have a good evening.
Good night.